My name is Emma, and Halloween has always been one of my favorite times of the year. There's something about the smell of autumn air, the cool wind, and the rustling leaves that makes me feel alive again. Every year when October begins, I feel a little spark of excitement inside me. Some people wait for Christmas or summer holidays, but for me, Halloween is special. It's playful, a little dark, and full of imagination. As a child, I used to run from house to house in the dark, wearing a funny costume and carrying a plastic pumpkin full of candy. I remember the sound of laughter, the smell of chocolate, and the magic of pretending to be someone else. Now I'm an adult, with a job, bills, and responsibilities. But every October, that same child inside me wakes up again. And this year, I decided to do something special, to host my own Halloween party. It had been years since I last organized a party. Life had been busy and a little serious. I wanted to laugh again, to see my friends, and to feel that same warm excitement that I felt long ago. So, one Sunday morning in mid-October, I made myself a cup of coffee, opened my notebook, and started planning. I wrote Halloween Party at the top of the page and smiled like a teenager with a secret plan. The first thing I needed was decoration. I wanted my house to look spooky but cozy. I didn't want fake blood everywhere. I wanted something fun, mysterious, and beautiful. I went to a big Halloween store on the weekend. The place was full of orange, black, and purple colors. There were masks, fake spiders, skeletons, and fog machines. People around me looked excited, and I felt like part of a secret club. I bought orange lights, a dancing skeleton, and a box of tiny paper bats. I also found a fake raven that made a creepy sound when someone walked by. I laughed and thought, perfect. Back home, I started decorating. I put the lights around the windows, hung the bats from the ceiling, and placed the skeleton near the door. The house slowly changed its mood. It became darker, yet friendlier, like it was smiling in a strange way. My cat, Luna, followed me everywhere. She looked at the decorations with suspicion, especially the fake raven. I told her, "Don't worry, my dear, it's all for fun." She didn't look convinced. The next step was choosing my costume. I didn't want to wear something cheap or childish. I wanted something that matched my personality, a little mysterious, but with style. After thinking for a while, I decided to be a witch. Not a scary witch, but a wise and elegant one. I imagined myself with a long black dress, dark lipstick, and a hat that glitters under the candlelight. I found the dress in an old box from university parties. I bought a big witch hat and some green makeup for fun. When I looked in the mirror, I laughed. I looked both funny and powerful. I liked that combination. A few days later, my friend Sarah called. "Emma, what are you doing for Halloween?" she asked. "I'm having a small party," I said. "Do you want to come?" "Of course," she said. "Can I bring Jack and Linda?" "Please do. The more, the scarier." The idea of seeing my friends again made me happy. We hadn't met for months. We were all busy with work, families, and endless to-do lists. This party was a reason to laugh again, to feel alive. The week before Halloween, I planned the food. I wanted everything to fit the theme: snacks that looked like monsters, juice that looked like blood, and maybe a pumpkin pie for something warm and sweet. I spent one evening baking cookies. I shaped them like ghosts and spiders. The kitchen smelled like cinnamon and vanilla. I played old jazz music and felt peaceful. Halloween can be relaxing too. I decorated the cookies with chocolate eyes and red icing. When I finished, I took a picture of them. They looked cute and terrifying at the same time. I sent the photo to Sarah. She replied, "You're amazing!" The day before Halloween, I cleaned the house, lit a few candles, and checked everything twice. The lights were ready, the decorations looked perfect, and the pumpkin bowl was full of candy for the kids. That night, I couldn't sleep well. I was too excited. I kept imagining how everyone would look in their costumes and how the night would go. It felt like waiting for a small adventure. Finally, the big day arrived. The air was cold and smelled like smoke and leaves. I opened the window and felt the October wind on my face. I whispered, "It's Halloween." I spent the morning preparing food and drinks. I made a bowl of red punch and decorated it with floating plastic eyes. It looked horrible, but that was the point. I laughed at my own creativity. In the afternoon, I dressed up. I painted my face slightly green and put on the witch hat. I added a black necklace with a small silver moon. When I looked in the mirror, I saw a confident woman smiling back at me. At 7 o'clock, the doorbell rang. I opened it and 3 small ghosts stood there. "Trick or treat!" they shouted. I laughed and gave them candy. Their eyes shone with happiness. Childhood joy never disappears, I thought. After a few more children came and went, my friends arrived. Sarah was a vampire, Jack was a pirate, and Linda came as a black cat. We looked ridiculous, but perfect together. We hugged, took photos, and laughed loudly. It felt so good to see them again. The house was full of music, light, and warmth, just like I wanted. We sat around the table and tried all the snacks. Sarah said, "Emma, these cookies are too cute to eat." Then she ate one anyway. Jack raised his glass and said, "To friendship and Halloween." We all cheered. After dinner, we played a game called Guess the Monster. Each person acted like a Halloween creature, and others had to guess who it was. I played a zombie, moving slowly and groaning. Everyone laughed so hard they cried. Then Jack told a ghost story. The lights were low and the candles flickered. His voice was deep and serious. The story was about a woman who heard whispers in her attic every Halloween. It gave us chills. When he finished, there was silence for a moment. Then Sarah screamed on purpose, and we all jumped. After that, we couldn't stop laughing. My cat ran away under the couch. Poor Luna, she didn't enjoy ghost stories. We decided to dance. I played Halloween music, songs with howling wolves and witch laughter. We danced like fools without shame. It was funny, messy, and full of energy. It felt wonderful to forget about everything else for a while. Later, I brought out the pumpkin pie. The smell filled the room. Jack took a bite and said, "Emma, this is heaven." Sarah nodded. "You're officially our Halloween queen," she said. The night went on with laughter, games, and stories. Every time the doorbell rang, I ran to give candy to new children. I loved their costumes, little vampires, tiny pumpkins, even a baby ghost in a stroller. Around 11, we went for a short walk. The street was glowing with lights. Jack-o'-lanterns smiled from every porch. People were laughing and music played from nearby houses. The world felt friendly and alive. When we came back, we sat with hot chocolate and spoke quietly. We talked about how fast life moves, how rarely we take time to play, and how good it feels to be silly again. At midnight, I walked my friends to the door. We hugged, and Sarah said, "Thank you for reminding us what joy feels like." Her words touched me deeply. I smiled and said, "It's what Halloween is for." When they left, I sat alone for a moment. The candles were low, the music was soft, and the orange lights glowed gently. The room looked peaceful. It felt like the end of something special, and the beginning of something too. I looked at Luna sleeping on the sofa. I whispered, "We did it, my little witch's cat." Then I cleaned a bit, blew out the candles, and went to bed. Outside, the moon was high and silver. It watched me like an old friend. The next morning, I woke up tired but happy. The smell of pumpkin pie was still in the air. I made coffee, sat by the window, and smiled. Halloween was over, but the warmth remained. And I promised myself, next year I'll do it again. Maybe even bigger. Because growing up doesn't mean you stop playing. It just means you know how to enjoy it more.